All right, welcome to Open Run. This is the podcast and we share a unique perspective on youth sports and sports in general. So we got a very special panel today, but I'm gonna go through the usual suspects first. So we got the Director of Skill Center Elite Basketball, Mr. John Arroyo.
What up, what up?
All right, we have the Player Development Specialist, Mr. Chris Ward.
Also with John at the Skill Center, but they don't ever talk about the black guy.
Co-founder of the Skill Center, my bad. All right, so I guess we talk about all these accolades. We got the four-time state champion in Georgia, played in some of the best games in Georgia history.
The most hot dog eating is Jimmy Hot Dog Man in the world.
What's the name of your school again, man? I forgot, man. It's been a while. I know it's all been in Georgia.
Oh, the home West Coast High, home of the Mighty Patriots.
Yeah, so the volume kind of low, man. You got to sit up, man.
Hello?
I'm Joe Filon, former youth basketball coach for Skill Center Elite Basketball 2025.
And go Tech, get on.
All right, so now for our special guest.
Leading.
So now for our special guest. All right, so we have Skill Center Elite class of, let me do the math. I usually don't do public math, but they're 2 years after us, so 2027, Skill Center Elite Orange, Mr. David Lamari. Did I pronounce your last name right?
Lamar.
Lamar, like
Close enough.
Like Lamar Trail?
Yeah,
Oh,
like Lamar University.
gotcha. You know who Lamar Trail is?
But with the E.
I've heard of it. Heard of him.
Yeah, that's probably before your time, man. All right, so now we have the man, the myth. I know. Are you a co-founder or are you just? You know, what's your title?
It's a bucket.
We just gonna go.
Title,
Mr. Brandon Channer.
No, I'm not the. I'm just head overall basketball training. I do all the runs, and you know, we just all four brothers, six of us really. We just work together, just trying to put the best product out there for the county.
That's what's up. Six of y'all, six brothers.
Yeah, six of us. Three of them. Yeah,
brothers.
Six brothers. I thought it was
we got some other ones. We got some that nobody don't know yet. They're not ready to hit the scene yet.
Okay, yeah, boy, look here. I thought the Wayne's brothers was doing something, man. You better watch out for the camera, boys.
but it's behind, it's a bucket.
Okay, your connection.
Yeah, St. P.
Nah,
Nah.
That's true.
You made a comment on Facebook and said, man, Bishop and CDS should create an AAU team. They be dominant. Y'all read that? You know what team that was? Sharp, tell me what team that was, Sharp.
What, Skill Center?
Right. So what you talking about? That was a Skill Center.
Yeah, John, that's it. I don't know, man.
I mean, four of my guys. 1, 2, 3. Well, Dylan played for a month, and then he left. But yeah, yeah.
Then you got Trey.
Yep. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, but he's 21, so we could. I mean, if he would have played 17, he's 21. But yeah, that's they all Skill Center boys.
Eric Daly was Skill Center too, right, John?
Yeah.
Everybody came from the Skill Center, baby.
Yeah, but no. Yeah. Outside of who would be Sharp? Who? And I'm not saying you would fear anybody, but who would you be like? Yo, that would be a tough matchup outside
in Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, we played Berkeley, and I thought Berkeley was better than CDS, but obviously not. So I would say CDS. I mean, Tampa Catholic, but Tampa Catholic's tough too.
I would like to see y'all against Durant. I would love to see y'all against Durant.
No, it wouldn't be much.
I don't know about Durant's guards.
No.
I don't know the matchup. Who I don't know if Durant can match
They're too
up
big
with us.
Yeah, they wouldn't. It wouldn't be a good matchup because after 3 players of Durant.
Who's Durant? Who are their guards? I don't know who Durant's guards.
That one guard is pretty damn good, man.
No,
Yeah.
Emmanuel good, but he a tough.
Cameron's brother is the starting point guard over there.
You talking about the kid, right?
Peavy.
Xavier Peavy. He's young though. He's a sophomore.
That kid pretty good, man.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to schedule them too, like with the COVID, like it was just with the scheduling and like, yeah, we were trying to get them, but
I mean, nobody. I think they can. Nobody has an answer for Emmanuel Sharp. Like nobody. You know what I'm saying? Not one-on-one. You gotta do some creative stuff.
Hey, ever since he gave what's his name, that double nickel in 3 quarters in Gainesville last
year. Yes, sir. I was there.
I've been telling people since he was in 5th grade. When we were 2nd grade, we were the 2nd grade team just starting out. Sharp was 5th grade. I was telling people that he had him and Eric Daly on the same travel ball team in the 5th grade.
Yeah, part of the skills.
Are you kidding me?
Look at John.
God,
as he takes a drink.
I still blame John for messing that up, man.
He couldn't hold them boys, man. I mean,
I blame myself partially, but then Sharp still could have put it together. Sharp, I want to fight your ass for all that shit.
John don't know how to. He don't know how to handle no.
Man, but I said, but look, my whole thing was back then. I was telling John and Chris this even before. Like I was like, you know, Emmanuel needs to play on a team where he's not the biggest kid. He's got to play pick and roll. He's got to throw alley-oops. He's going to be a guard.
Yeah.
He's going to have to play with better players or same level in order to iron sharpens iron. And, you know, he had to get on a team where he had to do other things. Like he was.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You could have did the same thing you did with Bishop with AAU. You think you could have been Bates fundamentals in Tampa?
We didn't have the resources back then for that. Like we didn't have it. Like we didn't have no Nike contract or Adidas or anything to where we could put that together and compete on a high level. We didn't have it. And once that, what was that, 8th grade?
Yeah.
When he went and played with each one and made hoops, yeah. Like that was, we just didn't have the resources. And I think that was the main thing, is we didn't have the resources.
I get it on both sides. I mean, John's thinking from a business owner, you thinking from, you know, the best thing for your kid type of deal.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see you do both. I would have liked to see you do that with each one, teach one, but then with those, you know, those kids that you had for, you know, that while, I would have liked to see you still do some stuff with them too. And, you know, but. And
we wanted to play both, but it was, you know, the Skill Center had that rule where you play, you know, you can't play for 2 teams now. You can't be like jumping. And John was like, nah, man. Like, hey,
I thought John took that rule away.
He don't like it no more.
That rule has been kind of lifted now. It's called the Emmanuel rule now. That rule has been kind of lifted a little bit, man. Move around a little bit. JoJo on like 3 teams now, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the man was like, I still want to play with, you know, he was at Mason House, you know, the other night. Like, they still best friends. They all friends. And he wanted to, but, you know, it was,
Let it be known. I don't think everybody knows on here, but Sharp broke up with the Skill Center through a text message.
Broke up.
What you got in that?
He said broke up. He said, listen, I wanted to get all my thoughts together first.
I used to bring a bottle of crying. He used to drink it all. I didn't drink none of it. He drank it all. We used to play cards. He used to cheat. We used to play set the box.
I won that poker game fast, boy. Stop lying, boy.
2018, he broke up with us through a text message.
Listen, I wrote the text like a letter so that I got all my thoughts together first, and then I wanted to call. I ain't want to forget nothing, man. You know how you be on the phone call and you be like, dang, I forgot to say. So I just wanted to get it all together first. That's what that was. Boy, you know it.
Why you bringing up old stuff?
Yeah, you got. Why you gotta bring up old stuff, right?
So it's gonna be a good week of basketball.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun, man. I think, the boys, we ready, we locked in, we hungry, we mad, and we got a good game, going to Calvary. That's gonna be a tough one. And
so tell me this. Go ahead, Dre.
So we'll be able to go live if you and CBS play at y'all place. Can you check on that for us?
Why you can't go live?
No, man. Can we get in?
We gotta get in. That's the thing. We can go live.
Oh, boy,
get in.
That's our gym. If it's at our gym, we can do what we want. Ain't no that's on us.
I get an invite, shirt. You ain't really messed with me in a long time, dog. In 2008.
Boy, stop, boy. I'm a grown man, dog. Come on, dog. Boy, I ain't thought about that. I be talking.
Hey,
man, it's all about the kids. Like if Emmanuel was happy, then I'm good. So I don't be thinking about that, man. It's all good.
No, I think we definitely got to go live at that game, y'all.
I want to bring something up that's a little bit off topic. All right, so we have all played against that guy that talks a lot of trash, shit talk. It's a part of the game, man. It's a part of the game. The biggest trash talker that I have ever played against in my life.
Oh, here you go.
Leaning back with that gray shirt on. Like, no, you was ridiculous, bro. Like, people don't really understand, and I used to run with little Otis to be like, man, we gonna beat his ass after the game. I'll be like, man, that's just part of it, man. You can't, but no.
You want to fight me?
Not me. Well, I used to be running. I had some guys, some guys with me that was on.
You said Otis? Who was it?
Not Otis. Not Otis.
I don't know if you remember Lil O, but he started on my guy. Yeah. Old Lotus trying to get he was very competitive, even though he wasn't hooping and he ain't really tolerated a lot of craziness. But the trash talking part was, but man, the thing about it was, Sharp used to talk all that trash, bro, and there was nothing you could do about it. There was absolutely nothing. That shooting three and turn it around before it go in, he was doing that back in the 90s, though. Like, I couldn't stand y'all, man. And Delancey used to try to act just like you, bro. And that used to piss me off.
And then Robert Polk just took it to a whole nother level.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he really had people wanting to fight him for real.
But see, I was stuck guarding Fred Lewis, and he used to kick my ass. He was the dirtiest player, bro, ever.
Oh, he was sneaky with it though.
Fred got skills. He post up and grab your wrist. By the time I get my hand out, he got the ball. Crab dribble, left hand hook. Crab dribble, right hand hook. It was nothing. I used to hate y'all, bro. I was so happy we beat y'all. Remember we beat y'all the first time?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the river front. Yeah.
We beat y'all twice. The first time I got ejected from the game in like the first 3 minutes.
Kick another ball?
Nah, man. It was an issue with the ref, man. I don't want to go there because JoJo might watch this, man. I don't want him.
Oh, rest in peace, Jack. It was probably Jack.
Yeah, Jack. No, it wasn't. It was this other dude named Steve.
Oh,
his damn name too, named Steve. He was off, but he thought it was a game. But it was. This is like one of the biggest games in Riverfront League history.
Man, boy, I miss the Riverfront. God, where Brunson at? Golly.
It was a big game though, because y'all was all the pro guys playing pro. We were the college guys up and coming. You know what I'm saying? And y'all used to beat us every year. And we finally got our little chance, man. And we finally got, it was like when Smokey and them got little Chris. Man, we finally got his ass, man.
Oh man.
Hey, so I know we got to get off, but let me ask everyone. Let's ask the guests first. So, Channer, on you. What do you think we need in Hillsborough County to continue to uplift basketball? To put it on the map.
You say what? Say the last part.
Put us in the map. You know what I'm saying? Like people overlook Tampa, Florida. Well, people overlook Florida regardless, but just Tampa itself we're talking about.
I feel like what's missing as far as being somebody that just graduated 8 years ago. Well, not really just, but is somebody is at the end of the day, I feel like state championships, district championships, all that is good. But I feel like you said, I mean, you guys are talking about the skill center. All these kids from Eric Daly, Manuel Sharp, Mike Trigg, all these kids came through the skill center. We don't have that, like I said, I feel like we're missing that predominant like sponsor or elite AAU team, and then also that elite high school where like a Lincoln in New York, you know what I'm saying, where everybody growing up, man, I got to go to this school because at the end of the day, it's about sending these kids to college, you know, playing at the next level. I don't think we have that in Tampa. And I mean, I don't understand why, because the kids are here, but you know.
I agree with that. I think the guys in Orlando do a lot better job of partnering.
Man, I'm telling you, man, over the summertime, Reese had went live, and you know, he loves Emmanuel and Dylan, but I talk to Reese and I talk to Kenny, them over there at West Oaks all the time. There's no respect on Tampa basketball, and I take that personal because I'm a Tampa guy. You know what I'm saying? I pay my taxes here, but yeah, they don't really. It's just we're just soft. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. But like I said, I know you got for the social media era we're living in, but we need more guys that's been there and not pampering these kids and just be honest with them and, you know, send them off to school. That's what I think that's missing.
Well, I had a piece that I shared with some guys at the tribes. They don't recruit this area too much because this is the highlight area. They play for highlights. They're really not.
No, I mean, you can't say that, Dre.
I mean, they're really not. Like what may be good to you guys might not be good to me from a distance man, because I'm just thinking at next level and a mentality. Most of these kids don't have that mentality to go play it. We're in the privileged era. I call it the privileged era because
no, you can't say that.
You got guys. Just say you got guys that can be good potentially. They got everything that they need except the mindset and work ethic. But you got guys that are at the bottom. Those are your hardest workers, but those guys won't go play at next year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the guys at the bottom that's really not able. I ain't gonna say they're not able, but they have the work ethic and all the tools and everything they need, but they're just not the next level kids. And they go harder than the guys that have potential to go to the next level. So when y'all say some kids are pretty good, I watch them, but I'm looking at them from a mentality standpoint. We had some good kids to go to college, but they be back home after a semester or two because they've been privileged to hear so much.
Right.
And all the privileges go out the door when you get to the next level. Ain't no more privilege.
I mean, but that's a good thing what you just said, and Chris from King High School, he just mentioned the mentality is different, and you got to agree with that, Brandon. I know you're the young one on.
No, the mentality is not different, John, because it's like this is what I say. I always got to vouch for the kids. I got to blame us as adults because I could only speak, for example, like and Coach Drake. I mean, he coached me, so I mean, I think 90% of these kids don't work hard, and I think they're bad. I mean, I have kids of my own. I think it starts in the house. You know what I'm saying? At home. And like I said, I remember and I think it comes back down to us as coaches that have these kids. They don't I think before you talk about skill, I think you gotta at least play hard or be in shape. And you go to most of these high school practices.
That's a mentality. And I think that's what we're talking about. Like when we grew up.
That's how they grew up. Yeah.
We were self-made. We didn't have the resources that kids have today. We were just self-made. It was just a different mentality.
These kids,
but we provided that.
What'd you say, Sharp?
I think, we worked so hard to make it easier for our kids that we've done that, and some of us forget that the path that we took.
But and it comes back down to
we're not
adults,
providing
right?
that path for the kids. Like they're not outside playing.
Right. And that comes back down to us as adults.
Till the lights come on. They're not doing that. They're not riding a bike. They're not selling bottles for money. Like they're not cutting grass.
Right.
Like for $5. They ain't got no lawnmower. You know what I mean? Like they didn't grow up like we did, because it's almost like you wanna make a better life for your kids, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you say you not babying them, but they're not going through the same struggles that you went through. Absolutely. So you got to find other ways to make it hard for them, and that's what I had to do. Like, you know, even with my boys, like they don't cut the grass, they don't do this, but they got to do other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like they got to, they got to have their grades got to be straight. They got to be outside playing. They got to be shooting. They got to be doing other stuff. You know what I mean? To cover the stuff, kind of the things that I did. Like, you got to rake the leaves. You got to do this. You got to cut. You know what I mean? A lot of kids, they're not doing that. They're not outside. They're on the PlayStation.
I agree with you 100%. Like we didn't have a vast to go to. We was out there playing hide and seek and freeze tag instead of playing vast. Even the dogs lived outside when we was a kid. So you ride your bike from the park, go dog pop a chain to jump a fence, and you had to stand up and get it.
Tell me this: how many of y'all kids know how to change the inner tube or patch a tire?
Look, I used to build my own bike.
That's what I'm saying. I built my own basket. Like none of them dudes know how to change the tire on the bicycle. They don't know how to put when I put the straws in the tire for my son, he went crazy. Boy, that thing went.
Brandon laughing at us right now. Like I said, I had to build my own bike. Bro, I used to be walking home from McFarland Park, and if somebody had an old frame in the yard, or
yes, sir,
I go knock on the door. Can I have that frame? And like, yes, my daddy wasn't gonna buy me no bike, man. My daddy bought me a bike for Christmas in the 6th grade, and they stole my joint from McFarland.
It was gone quick.
Elementary, and he wanted to buy me another bike. So if I was gonna ride, I had to build my own bike. I had a bunch of parts in my garage, but I would make a bike, bro. Like it wasn't no.
Yeah, they ain't got no. They don't know it.
A BMX track time.
Yep.
Hey, but look, I agree with Brandon. I agree with Sharp. I agree with Joe. I agree with it that sometimes it's a double-edged sword. We make our kids soft. But look, no disrespect. I know, Joe, you grew up in West Tampa. Sharp, I know you was in Orlando, whatever. I grew with 2 parents in a middle-class home. I had a brand new car at the age of 16. But my mentality was still different. My dad would drive me to the club and be like, yo, go play.
There it is, the parent.
That's what I'm saying. So, I grew up good, but I still, to this day, I have a mentality. So it is the mentality. And that's what we're trying to say. Like, these kids don't, if it's too hot outside, them jokers ain't playing. They waiting for Issa bucket to say, "Hey, what happened? Open run."
Run. You could Sharp could tell. No. Sharp could tell you how them runs go down. Come on, man. Don't let the cameras.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't have that. Like, they got
but
so
what
much
I'm saying, what this is what I'm saying. Like, I could only. I mean, I don't have any boys. I have all girls. If us as adults, if you saying we don't demand these kids, like, there's no reason why. Most of these kids, they have trainers for strength, mental, skill, everything like that. They haven't even earned it. Like, you got to be able to go outside and work yourself out first before you could get a skills trainer. But us as parents, we be making all these mistakes and be like, oh, I need my son to be with or daughter to be with a shooting coach.
Like, you better go outside and play. Yeah.
Right, but we don't demand. But we don't demand that of them. We're like, we spoil them and say, I'm gonna send you to VAS, or I'm gonna send you to such and such. Like, no, you got to go outside and let me see that you're trying first before I go.
Yeah.
How many kids nowadays drink out the hose outside?
Nah, they don't do that, bro. I don't even drink out. I don't even hit that hose no more, man. I thought about it one day, man, but this water out here hard, bro.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Especially when Greek Flame, you come out and spit it like that blue magic shaving powder. I
ain't hitting that, because if you went on the other side of West Tampa across McDill, their water smelled like rotten eggs, bro. So I wasn't even hitting them hoses back then, bro. That's how that water smelled out here, bro. That's that deal.
Oh my God.
Agree with it because people live down here in Apollo Beach. We got a court, but my wife don't want Junior to go down there by himself. I got to go with him.
You see?
And that's easy. And and believe me, Brandon, Joe had an episode about how hard I am on Junior. So the mentality's there, but we're still different.
Hey, that's natural.
What'd you say, Trey?
I told that's natural. That's in his blood.
Yeah.
Having that mentality.
Yeah, that's kind of what Brandon's saying. It is a mentality. You know, coaching these kids are delusional. You know, the levels they think they can play on. I'm being honest. You know, like the levels they think they can play on, the levels that people or their families think they can play on, just because they're doing work around here.
Yeah, I had 3 kids quit my team, thinking they should get more playing time on my team. With 4 D1 players, possibly.
You know, so and that's the issue. So I agree with what you're saying, Brandon. But at the same time, you know, these kids ain't working for what they want. You know, and what they're saying about social media, these kids would rather go out. The only time they're gonna pop up is when, you know, somebody's playing in the gym. You know, a kid will ride past a basketball court outdoors, go to the gym and say, "Hey, Mom, the gym is closed."
Right.
I passed the basketball court outdoors. The gym was closed. So you're talking about what we say privilege mentality. You know, because if the gym is closed, so that means you stop working.
Right.
If your family hungry, how you gonna get your money? Same mentality.
I got to give my boys credit. They will go and play outside, the boys that I was.
But the only reason they do that, Joe, is because you make them go outside and play.
No, I don't, bro. They like.
Not anymore.
They learned it. I mean, they've learned it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I'm not saying it from a bad point, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, kids just don't, you know, I love Tyson for being outside. And I would put it on him. He would want to go down to the court and play. And I said, okay, you get your work on before you can go down there and play with the other kids. You go get your shots up before you can go down to the other end. So I think that's what's not being done.
But don't you think that's where we got our game from? Going to the court and just playing. Like, these kids don't do that. Everything got to be organized. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember on a vacation going to Puerto Rico to the project. My dad said, "You want to play ball?" And I'm scared as hell, but that's where it was. They might not have been good, but they were some bully ass jokers. And that's when you got the no fear, the mentality type of situation. But you go around here, and even in the outdoor courts, they're empty. They're not as much, you know, pickups going on. Like when Joe used to tell me about the McFarland Park pickup runs you used to go to as a kid or as a high school kid or whatnot.
That goes back to like resources. Riverfront League. You had high school teams playing in the Riverfront League against grown men.
As grown ass men.
They don't do that.
Right.
They don't do that no more.
Right. Right.
I mean,
I think that's missing in Tampa though, and I also think that we don't work together.
And I mean, and that's a perfect. I mean, John, you just hit it on the head. I think what it comes down to is to build something, man. It's got to take a team, and you got to understand. We got to get people that, okay, this is what I'm great at, and this is what I'm gonna do. And then that's all I'm gonna focus on. I'm not gonna hate on the skill center because, you know, we gotta come together because at the end of the day now we listen to all these problems, but there's no solution. We got to come together and say, like, Issa Bucket is all for Tampa. Like, I mean, every kid that come through Tampa probably has an Issa Bucket video, but it's just like we don't have that high school where like Junior's growing up, like where he's gonna go to high school. You don't know because we don't have that powerhouse. I mean, Sharp is trying to build something, but you know that's a ways out. So we got to start coming up with solutions.
You got 29 public high schools. That's one thing.
The problem, right?
And it's not going to slow down though. That's not that you can't blame it on that. These kids are being born every day. Public schools are going to open up We got to come together and say, okay, all right, because it has to be a feeder system. You have to have a training program, a high school,
right.
AAU team, everything like that. And you got to understand, okay, hey, everybody eats if the kids go to college.
But you know what?
And just
everybody wants their name out there. For instance,
no, I mean, but I mean, that's business though. You got to get with the right people that say, man, I don't care what you're doing.
They don't want to come together because their name may not be on the top. Put it this way: when I brought Junior to you that one weekend, you remember? Before I left that gym, I had so many text messages. He said, "Man, I can't believe you going over to Issa bucket." And I'm like, just
at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, like I said, Apple, Samsung, all these companies got competition. But at the end of the day, they make that Apple and that Samsung phone every year. It's about the product. If Junior goes to college, Emmanuel's going to college next year, that's all that matters. You can't worry about what everybody else is saying. You got to say, okay, if we're producing and you're having results, let's talk about results. If we turn out to be friends, your personal feelings, I could care less about that. But like I said, everybody's all feelings, and then we keep blaming the kids and talking about they keep getting softer. But us as adults, we're the mature ones. We got to demand more of each other first, and then the kids will rise. Or you can't expect the kids to rise, and then we not rising.
I agree
with you 100%. I mean, I've been saying it for years. Like the reason that I started coaching was because I wanted to help turn Tampa into a basketball town. And I don't care who do it. I just wanted to get done. That was one of the reasons that I started coaching, because I see so many times in high school we have these 6'3", 6'4" guys that are told that they're a forward or a center and they play post, and by the time it's time to graduate from high school, their career is over. They're gonna be at the park playing, you know what I'm saying, at the McFarland Park or wherever they play now. That's all they're gonna be doing because they've been told that they were a power forward, or they might have been big when they was young. But now you got guys 6'10", 6'11", handling the ball. Like, what I look like telling any kid not to dribble a basketball, not to handle a basketball. Now, granted, you got to work on that. You got to go out there on your own and work on it, or you got to go to a player development specialist like Chris or like Brandon or somebody that can help them with their skill set. Because as a parent, you develop your own kid. You guys are just tools. That's why I always tell people as parents, stop saying so-and-so did this, did develop your kid. You develop your kid. They're a tool that you use, you know what I'm saying, to get your kid there. You know, give yourself some credit as a parent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I say it all the time, but that's one of the reasons that I started coaching, because I just see it so many times that because this kid is big or strong enough to play down low, they make that kid play down low, but next level, you're not going to play down there. Now, somebody told me a couple of weeks ago that because we were having this conversation about a kid that's 6'4" that was playing in the post. They were saying it's for the betterment of the team, a sacrifice for the team. Yeah, offensively, you let that kid display his skills, but the sacrifice is down here on the defensive end. If he's big and strong enough to guard bigger players because that's the biggest kid you have, yeah, he can have him do that. But on the other end, you know, he need to be playing on the wing or being the guard, which is what he would be if he gets is blessed enough to play on the next level.
You know, Joe, it's funny you say that. I texted y'all last night about Shea Cotton. Sharp, you ever heard of Shea Cotton?
Big boy, what's that? Georgia, Alabama?
Yeah. So anyway, he was the best player as an 8th grader, freshman.
He was better than most high school seniors as an 8th.
He was giving it to everybody, and something happened with his SAT scores or whatever. He chose Long Beach State because that was home. Then he was going to go to UCLA, but something happened. He couldn't go. Alabama picked him up. Alabama turned a 6'4" guard, jump out the gym, into a 4-man.
He was Zion Williams before Zion.
Right. But they turned him into a 4-man because the team lost all their bigs. That ruined his career.
Yep.
Wow, and he was a guard? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was dog.
Playing in high school. He was a man child in high school.
That's what the movie called. Man, go tell your kids, your parents to go watch this movie called Man Child. It's on there.
He was a year or two after me. I remember we was in JUCO, all the Street and Smith stuff.
Yeah.
All the JUCO stuff, and that's why I remember him reading about him when he was in high school.
I didn't know. I thought he was always a power forward. Wow.
He was a guard that can handle it, lefty.
He was like Zion, played like Zion.
Yeah, go check out that movie, man, because they exploited him and made him look real bad, man. And now, you know, he played overseas for a little while. But it wasn't panned out what he was going to be. He was sponsored by Nike as an 8th grader. Got any shoe he wanted.
Yeah, he was rough, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. I was wondering what happened to him.
Yeah, he did a bunch of camps. I mean, Nike use them now and stuff like that for those big Pangos, the Camp Pangos. They use. So, but it's interesting you said that because you can't box a kid in. Let him flourish, But that is an interesting point you made, Joe. That use them on the defensive end for that. You're right about that.
That's the sacrifice. That if you want to talk about sacrifice, like Mo, for example, y'all know Mo that coached with the skill center for a little bit. He was my power forward in high school. What's Mo? 6'3", 6'4"? He was my starting power forward my junior year. Like by the time we graduated from high school, man, he was right up there in McFarland Park. You know what I'm saying? And he should have been playing like a 2 guard, which he had the skill set, but because he was big and strong enough, and when you line us up because we were small, okay, you're a guard, you're a 2 guard, you're a 3, you're a 4. And if you look at what position everybody was playing, it was just like this right here. Do
y'all think, like, I mean, one of the biggest kids with like that's blowing up now is with Sharp. Do y'all think that these coaches, because I mean, Drake could tell you I was the same size now that I was in high school, but he never played me I played defensive. I was down low, but I get the rebound. I'm going down. Do y'all think these coaches that are in charge of these kids that are coaching, do y'all think they know what it takes to get to the next level? Because, for example, like a kid, Dylan Mitchell, I think underachieved last year, didn't play at Alonzo. Now he's I think he's the most talented player in the state.
Pickles.
Yeah. But you
see, he didn't play at Alonzo though. He's right.
Right, but so it's just like how does a kid like that walk on your campus and you don't, like I said, you don't recognize that as a coach, and like I said, granted, the coach at Alonzo, he's doing a great job, phenomenal job. They're in the regionals, but all I'm saying is I don't think the adults or the coaches that understand what it takes. Like, okay, like Sharp said, I needed my son to be throwing alley hoops coming off pick and roll because he's been there. So I think a lot of people don't understand what it actually takes, the work, the dedication, the sacrifice to get to the next level.
Well, let me ask you this. When he was at Sickles, where was he playing? In the post, right?
I mean, last year I went to the game against.
No, that was last year.
Sickles. They let him make a little bit.
Sickles. Yeah, because we played against him last year, and he played at the top. And the thing I didn't understand was he didn't attack us once. Mm-hmm. He didn't attack the basket one time.
He was up top swinging the ball like the big boy.
Yeah, he was up top swinging the ball.
Yeah.
I believe he averaged like 12 last year.
I was going to say, and he got all of it in transition.
See, that's my thing. Like, and I didn't say this, but I was looking at this from watching some of the Issa bucket videos. I got to give Sharp credit because the whole positionless basketball thing that I had been talking about for the last 4 or 5 years, when people was ready to burn my jersey and run me out of town, Sharp plays that style. Like if Dylan gets a rebound, he pushes it up the floor, guys fill in spots, and you know what I'm saying, and they make plays, and anybody can. And it looks like to me, any one of your guys can get y'all in y'all stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Sharp is preparing his guys for next level.
Right. And that's a guy that's been at the next level.
Right, exactly.
So,
but you know what, Channing? You even got trainers. So if you got a big kid as a 6th grader or 5th grader or even a 7th grader, whatever, they're teaching them post game. And where, in my opinion, you should be teaching them basketball guard skills from that age because you don't know when they're going.
I can teach a guy how to play in the post.
I don't know what trainer does that, but I think I don't care how big a kid is. You got to teach them to play the guard position. You can always go inside and play the post.
I got some. I'm gonna inbox you some videos.
You got to dribble the ball.
So Chris, what's your take on it? You do a lot of player development. That's what you do.
I haven't worked with a kid on post moves unless it's one-on-one. No. There's no, kids need to learn how to handle the basketball. The post game is no different than playing on the wing. Catch the ball, face up, make it move. You're just closer to the basket.
Well, you're going to turn your back eventually.
Yeah, you're going to turn your back. I mean, so, you teach kids how to be fundamentally sound. Every kid should know how to handle the ball. We used to always say, at least for 3 dribbles, that's all it should take to get to the basket. If that, 2 dribbles. One is going to be a counter move. So every kid should have a high skill set. Not saying every kid should have a high basketball IQ, but every kid should have a high skill set. And that comes with the development. I'm not a trainer, I'm a developmental specialist. Just want to tell John that. No, what's that?
I said it should be one thing they should be exceptionally good at.
You know, but kids should know how to pass the ball. They should know how to handle the ball. They should know how to finish around the basket. They should have enough. I'm just saying all the little central pieces. Now, as far as decision making, that's just kids. Like we were talking about going to the park and playing.
Yeah.
And making that's just part of understanding the game, because you get a chance to play against different players with different players. You don't get to pick the same five, or you take your five, you go play a different five, then you go to another neighborhood, play a different five. That doesn't happen anymore. So kids don't understand.
Well, I have a scenario, and y'all can chime in, and maybe it's just me. You have kids, just like mediocre kids, they think they got to score 20, 25, 30 points to go play at next level. So you got, and they're, just say, because most everybody here in Hillsborough kind of basic guards in general. But there are really not that many traditional point guards at their level, because everybody in the mindset that they have to score.
You know what, Dre? I never, when I coached the Hillsborough, or when I coach, I never used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
I've never played. I never gave my kids on the floor any labels. You know, if I say anything, you're in the hole. That's the biggest thing I'll say is you're in the hole. That means they knew you were down low, you weren't on the block, you were off the block in the short corner. You know, there's no sense in having a kid not understand how to handle the ball. Now I know Sharp has on his team some kid, all his kids can handle the ball, but he has those dudes that's not gonna make a good decision with the ball. So he don't want the ball in their hand coming down the floor in a setup type of situation, because he knows they're not going to make a good decision with the basketball. So that's what everybody can handle, should be able to handle the basketball. That's good.
But that's not, but everybody just think they got to score, and they're forgetting about the little intangibles, you know.
Because they don't understand. You know, college coaches want kids that can make somebody better, especially at the guard spot. Can you make somebody better?
When you're building a team, you gotta have guys, gotta have roles. Everybody can't be the scorer. Everybody can't be. Guys, if they accept their role, then the team's gonna be successful. It's when they're fighting their roles. You know what I mean? You can't have too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. I mean,
but so that goes back to the parents as well. The parents have to understand that. Right. Like so many parents think their kids can go out. Well, he's not shooting enough. Well, he's not shooting enough because he ain't hit enough damn shots.
Well, I think a lot of parents think that if their kid isn't scoring, they aren't playing well, and that's so far from the truth.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's a bunch of BS. Because you have some of the top scorers. You look at Tyreek Brascom, and it's not to say he couldn't play on the college level, but he averaged 27 and 9.
Yep.
He did?
Yeah.
His senior year, he averaged 27?
27 and 9.
What?
And he was
27 and 9?
But
a senior in high school?
How tall is Branson though?
5'8".
How many guys? And see, this is something I say all the time, because I always say is levels to it. Like, for example, you have for example, like Charles, let's say Charles Cruz, for example, who he signed with a small school, and a lot of people felt like he should have signed Division I.
St. Mike's,
right?
D2 school. It's actually a pretty good school.
Absolutely. So, but Cruz, I've been a fan of his since he played in the Skill Center Rec League for years. I still think he's a great player. But if you look at it, I think every county just about has a Charles Cruz. I think every region had a me. You know what I'm saying? Like every state probably has an Emmanuel Sharp, maybe. There was one Kevin Knox. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different levels to it. And when you start talking about the elite talent or maybe if you, with Emmanuel now, I used to say it was every state, but Emmanuel now, maybe every region. If you talk about Florida, Georgia, South Kakalaki, maybe they have an Emmanuel Sharp. But it's there are different levels to it, man. But everybody thinks that their kid is going to go off to school regardless of how many, you know what I'm saying? Because you might have a kid like Branson averaging 27 points a game, but there's a kid in Polk County that's the same size that's probably averaging 27 a game too. There's one in Pinellas County. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about every county in the United States, you're talking about thousands and hundreds of kids. You know what I'm saying? There are only so many scholarships. You know what I'm saying? So Charles Cruz signing with that school, that's a huge accomplishment. Huge accomplishment, man, for him to sign with that school.
But see, some of the kids nowadays, they won't do that. They won't do that because it's not quote unquote the limelight. But then you go back, like you guys are saying, you don't have to score all these points. You know, one of my best friends, like, you know, my nephew plays for Virginia Tech. I always talk about him. He was not a high scorer in Louisiana. He was not a, you know, top player or whatever. But he's the best player at Virginia Tech at 6'2". And yeah, I think the last 3 games he had a double-double. But what he brings to the table is that grit, that defense, the good decision making. The scoring is going to be there, and I don't think kids see that. And
what
that's
did he average in high school? Because you're talking about on the college level. So what did he average to get there?
I don't even think he had 20, dog. And I find out maybe 12, 15. I find out he was not. I mean, towards the end of his high school career, he was recruited highly, but he was not a big name. You never heard of him, and this is the ACC.
What AAU program he played for?
New Orleans Elite, Under Armour.
Right. And so that's another big thing that
1 year. He played there 1 year, and he was strictly, if you saw him play in AAU, he was strictly a distributor.
But I mean, with AAU, all it takes is one game, to be honest with you, if you're in the right hands for you to.
Yeah. What I'm saying is he's doing the same thing he did at AAU, which is he led Virginia Tech in rebounding at 6'2". Right. Granted, 6'2" with a 6'11" wingspan. Right. But his grit, his toughness, like he brings that to the table. And ask Chris, I mean, the boy is hungry, and he does everything that people don't think you need to do to go to the next level. And he's in the ACC. Mike Krzyzewski loves the Joker. If Virginia Tech ever loses him, he's going to Duke. And that's crazy because they don't do that stuff nowadays. I mean, kids don't care about that.
I don't think it's a kid that it's not a thing of it that cares. Like, go back to what Brandon was saying. Our coach is forcing them to do that. Like, so for me at Hillsborough, the only star on the team is going to be me every single year. And I don't mean that by being like disrespectful to kids or anything like that. What I'm saying is, like, you want to play at a high level D1, you want to play pro ball. The only person that's ever done that is me on this team. So here's what I'm going to do to try to help you get there. If you don't have it to get there, I can call all the coaches I want. If you're not good enough to play on that level, then you're not good enough. That's not on me.
Right.
That's on how hard it is to play ball. You look at a kid like Santia Rahman. You know, would I take a chance on a kid like Santia Rahman? Yes. If I were coaching, that's the type of kid I want. It was 24 and 19. 24 and 19. Like, come on, man. At 6, he says 6'5". At 6'4", I don't care who you're playing against. 19 rebounds? That's tough.
That's toughness.
And he's going to a D2. Now, he just hit me up tonight and said he's starting on Wednesday.
As a freshman.
Which is big because Santia Rahman only played really 1 year high school basketball.
1 year.
But the reason why I'm saying it is our offense isn't drawn up for no one player. He averaged 8 or 9 offensive rebounds a game. That's where he worked and got his points. And so kids don't want that limelight. They don't want to do anything like that. Sharp sent it, and Brandon, you see it. I mean, how many, like you said, like Dre said, how many true point guards right now in this county will look first to get you into it, make his team better, not worrying about scoring, but worrying about winning. And if he needs to score, he can score. How many guards are like that right now?
Man.
I know a one.
Where?
The kid for Tonelli, that kid Elijah.
5.
I'm sorry?
He's number 5.
Number 5, Dre. He's a pretty good point guard.
He's pretty tough.
What about a kid from Durant? Chairman?
Perry?
Yeah. I haven't seen him play as basketball.
Perry, I feel like he's very, very talented. I think he, probably a little bit undersized, but he's gonna be good though. But like, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Chris. I think people don't understand. Like I said, you got to do something. Like, and Dre hit it on the head. He was just like, you got to do something excellent. Like, so for example, like a kid like Emmanuel, 30. You know what I'm saying? A kid like Dylan, blocks everything, dunks everything. A kid like Kentia. For you to average 19 rebounds, first of all, do you know like the mindset you got to be in every single night? Like, do you understand? Like, it's different when you go on average, like you get 19 rebounds, but for you to night in and night out, do you know what, like the mentality, what you have to, how locked in you got to be. So, I mean, but like I said, it's a testimony of Chris. Like you taught him that, or you demanded that of him, or you said, hey, if you want to go to the next level, you gotta at least do this. And like I said, I don't think a lot of coaches know you got to at least do something. You got to pass the eye test to get to the next level.
And then just piggyback on kids' mindset these days. Most of them don't know what a 5-head is. They call them ball hogs now. we call them black holes also. They touch it, you know it's going in the air. Kids these days get mad and just want to stop playing until they actually get the balls in their hand. But I was like, if he a ball hog and you know that, he can shoot the ball. He's not gonna make every shot. Go get some offensive rebound. That's how I try to train their minds. You know he gonna shoot the ball. Go get an offensive rebound instead of standing out there proud. Oh, he passed the ball. But that's the mindset these kids are in.
Yeah.
Unless they are directed to be down there, like if you have a big just stay on the block, and that's basically all that he can do. These guys, they don't attack offensive glass like this.
All right, so we've been going a little long, so looks like that's our time. But we do have a couple of comments. So Toya Barkley said when we were talking about the kids going outside, and she said too many crazy people in the world now. Can't let the kids go off by themselves. We could go outside until the street light came on in the early 90s, but now they're snatching kids left and right. Crazy, dangerous world nowadays. T wouldn't care.
I came up in the Wayne Wheel era, man. They ain't stop moving.
Well, I mean, I think that you've always snatched kids and kidnapped kids. I just think now that you have all these media outlets and the internet, we just see it more. Because back in the day, we only got the local news. Now you get world news or national news. So you see it from all over the place. So it's kind of more in our face. But I think they've always snatched kids. I think it's just more in our face now. But I get it. Hell, Tosh won't even let JoJo cross the damn cul-de-sac. He's 13. So,
That's true.
Daryl Doc Warren, he said, so build a high school UConn system where every top kid goes there, but what happens to the competitive games that will make them better?
Turn into a national powerhouse.
Yeah, we play the teams in down south and all that.
Right, exactly. You can't.
IMGs and all the other schools like that. And yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can find a competition.
Yeah.
All right, so any final thoughts? I thought Chandler did a good job explaining himself when he's talking about the greatest game
Hey, Joe, man, Joe, I'm very accessible, man. Like I said, I don't run from no smoke. So anytime you see I put something out there, like I said, all the Chandler boys, like behind the cameras, we're very, very competitive. So anytime,
Hey, how'd you feel when somebody made a comment about you just did it so to promote your brand?
I mean, I didn't I didn't feel any type of way because, you know, like the brand is the brand. Like, and like I said, when you, like, we sat down, we talked about it tonight, like, you see my explanation behind it. It wasn't far off. Like I said, I can't think about two kids that we've had at this caliber. So, you know, like I said, you know, you're gonna have people say what they say, but, you know, it is what it is.
You didn't back up. You didn't back down, though. I agree with that.
Nah, man.
They're definitely both special kids, man. I mean, I don't think that Hillsborough County is seeing anything like either one of them. A lot of people was upset because Emmanuel was the name on top of the marquee on the all-time branding team. But
Blake,
who gonna stop him?
right,
exactly.
Who else you gonna put there? Yeah, I had him up there after his freshman year. Me personally, but
Blake.
Yeah, Blake.
And I went to Blake, so he for sure number one. So,
all right, Dave, you got anything you want to leave us with?
Like that.
No, I just think we got to continue to promote these games. I mean, these kids don't go to games anymore. I mean, you know, that when Hillsborough and Tech played back in the day, I used to take Jackson to see Chris, and then, you know, some of these games kids don't go and watch enough of this basketball. And that's why I love this group, you know, the Facebook group, because you can put these games out here. You know, people don't go watch these games as much as they should. You know, TC Jesuit, regardless if you're a fan of either, there's not a better atmosphere than that game. I wanted Joe to change our game so I could go watch TC Jesuit this year. I mean, there's not a better atmosphere than that game, but kids don't go to it anymore. And then a topic for another time, I really think the way they're doing JV basketball in the county is a disservice, and they got to change it, because, you know, there's JV teams that are playing 8 games at most, and it's gonna hurt the feeder system into the varsity program. So another topic for later, but, you know,
middle school play 5. Middle school play 5.
Middle school as well. But I'm gonna put it to you like this, because this is something that I planned on saying to Brandon about one of the greatest games. And I hate to talk about our era so much, but going back to 1994, way back in time, this is my senior year. All right, so Friday night, you had Tampa Bay Tech, number 1 in 4A, I think they were, versus Tampa Catholic, number 1 in 2A. They went head to head. Andrew had signed with Vanderbilt as a junior. Carl Thomas had already went to Western Kentucky. Tech had one of the greatest players I ever played. Yep, and Damon Smith and you know, Tyree Mitchell and all those guys was on that Tech team. It was on the news, standing room only. Tampa Prep knocked off Tech by like 3 or something like that. So then that Monday, and me and my point guard Von Shea went to the game. We had to leave just before the game over because the crowd was that rowdy. So as we get up and we walking out, the whole crowd yelling at us, "Well, we gonna beat y'all Monday," because we was ranked number 3 in the state at the time, 4A. So we got to get out this gym before we get beat up. So then that Monday we play Tampa Tech. So now you got the number 1 in 4A versus number 3 in 4A. We ended up beating Tech in that game. There was thousands of dollars being passed around the gym. Those who was around in 94, it was like standing room only. All this one side of the bleacher stuff, like we couldn't do that back then. So thousands of dollars being passed around. Robert Fennell called me Joe Money to this day because we upset Tech and knocked them off on that Tuesday. Now they whooped our ass in the second time playing. After that game, we couldn't leave the locker room because they had to call the damn near the SWAT team, all that, because we couldn't leave the gym. Like, this is the type of environment we had back then for high school games. You know what I'm saying? And then you go to our district. So now you got Tech ranked number 1 in the state again in district, because when they lost those 2 games, they failed, but they got back up. We were ranked like 5 in the state. We got beat by Bloomingdale in one of the last games of the season. But we got Lakeland Kathleen in our district ranked 2. You know what I'm saying? We were all in the same district, and Kathleen beat both of us. You know what I'm saying? When we were 3 and Tech was 1, when we beat Tech, we became number 1. Tech went to 3, Kathleen stayed 2. And I'm sure Kathleen felt some kind of way about that, and they knocked both of us off. And this is the environment we had in Hillsborough County hoops back then, man. And it was just, I just think it was a really good time, man, for basketball. But when I go to Kevin Knox games, there's no way that game is not sold out. Like they should be selling out. When you go see Emmanuel Sharp, there's no way those games are not sold out. And Dre, Chris, and John, I sent y'all a text from my man Brad Ash that played up in Indiana, and he coaches in Orlando now. He sent a picture of, he said that this is an important district game in Florida, and it had the one side of the bleachers, the small bleachers, and didn't have many people in there. He told me back when we were in college that he used to have 24,000 at his high school games. He sent two pictures. He sent one picture of JV, the gym was packed, and he sent a picture of a varsity game. This is a regular season game, 24,000 in there for a high school game. I would love for Tampa to be that.
That's a Florida thing, man. That's a Florida thing. We ain't like that in Georgia.
Yeah, we like that in football, but basketball, not so much, man.
Yeah, and with the JV thing, Sharp will tell you, Dave, because every time we come, and Dre will tell you too, every time we come to a meeting or every time we came to a meeting, every year that was a topic.
No, I know I know you guys
so
can't do it every year.
I don't think that's going to ever happen again. Like then JV will never play before varsity. And it does a disservice to the kids because those kids should get an environment where they can play in front of. I mean, that was the whole point of me wanting to. Yeah, but that was the whole point. That was the whole point with when I was playing JV my sophomore year in high school. They have the varsity at the door or have the people coming in right before the varsity game watching JV game. That was that third and fourth quarter was my varsity year for 25 games or 20 games, whatever you played. They don't get a chance to play enough games, and it is hurting the development because on Saturday, I didn't coach my JV team. I didn't go to JV games, and it wasn't anything personal, but I saw them during the week. I saw them at practice during the week. I wasn't getting up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't care how bad of a coach you think I am, but to go to see a JV game, I'm sorry.
Boy, yeah, that's worse. Those are
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be playing 9 and I might play at 12. It ain't going to happen. And if it does, I'm drunk for Friday night from going out drinking with Derek.
Oh, dang.
And doing some other things.
Oh, dang.
I wouldn't be able to get up on Sunday.
Time to go. I did it.
Yeah. No, but it does a disservice because you have 5 games for middle school, and then you have possibly 12 to 16 games for JV. So those kids don't get any playing time. Yeah. They really don't. It's something that has to change. And John and I have gone as far as let's run the middle school league. Like I'm talking about taking it to Lannis, say, hey, how about we run a middle school league? So those things aren't going to happen, which is sad. We were, back to back going to state, and we got kicked out of the gym for the band. The band had practice in the gym.
That's ridiculous.
In the gym. So things like that aren't going to happen. So the grassroots programs are going to be the pieces that are going to change basketball in the county.
We need to
partnering
together, man, to make it happen. I get skills.
And that's a conversation. You say when you talk about trainers or developmental special, what are you going to call? I've never claimed a kid other than Tyson, and I can claim him on my taxes. That's the only reason I claim him. I've never claimed a kid. These kids go to this person and that person. So I couldn't lay claim on a kid. Even kids that came to Hillsborough High School. I didn't do that. I didn't create those kids. I didn't create their skill sets. It's just part of their process. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Coach Finland played a great role in Tyson's development as far as coaching him and preparing him and leading him. Tyson chose his college based on him saying the coach at North Dakota State was just like the Coach Finland. Skill development and pushing him. Josh Perry, Willie Anderson, they forced Tyson to play defense. Tyson's playing college ball. He's guarding the best player on the floor. He's playing pro ball right now, guarding the best player on the floor. He couldn't guard a bag of ice.
Sure couldn't.
In the day, and didn't want to. So everybody played a role. So and I commit and I thank people for that. You know, he played with Walter Perkins back in the day with the Bolts. They played a part in it. See, the thing that people don't want to do is partner. Like, people don't want to partner. They don't want anything. They want to claim kids. I never claim a kid. That ain't my kid. You know, we had Mike Trigg came to my team, left 2 times.
Quit again.
Gabriel left his junior year. Did I have a problem with Gabriel coming back? Not one problem with Gabriel coming back. You know, it's about these kids. And people don't put enough energy and effort in these kids. They worry about themselves.
And that's to say, if Emmanuel Sharp wanted to come back, we would take him, Sharp. We would take him.
You know, so, but that's the truth. Do we have enough kids in this county to develop and create something? Yes, we do.
I see y'all had a tryout yesterday. So
what's that?
Y'all had a tryout yesterday. So what did y'all think about the talent pool of that tryout?
I didn't have it. I don't know. Dre was there.
Dre was there. John was there.
Go ahead, Dre, because you know Dre will keep it raw.
I heard y'all was discriminating too.
Good.
I asked the question after the trial. Did everybody in here give 100% at this trial? I had, like, out of all those kids, we had 2 hands went up.
Wow.
But that goes back to the mentality and the mindset of kids. This is a trial, and you come in there playing like it's just pickup ball, and you trying to make a team. So basically, you got to pick kids off of potential. who can potentially help you on this team. So I mean, it was a great turnout, but as far as the talent and the mindset of the kids, you basically just go off potential.
Yeah, we probably had over 55 kids in there yesterday.
People in there.
Yeah, it was the oohing, just celebrating people dunking, and you know, it was like an all-star game.
All right, so Carmen Samuel said, "Lord knows my son is playing more defense now that he's playing with SCE than he ever has. LOL. He has so much more to go and grow. We are all a part of their path."
We still been cutting
Is that the kid? Is that the kid, Cameron?
Killer Cam. Yep.
Yeah.
Cameron's going to be he's going to be a really good player.
Lefty. Yep.
I like him. I like him. He just have to work a little harder, but I like him. He has a high skill set. I like him.
He'll get there.
He has a lot of potential, but this is what I'm talking about. Kids like that, you know, those are kids that you can develop to be a Emmanuel Sharp. You can develop those kids to be a Dylan Mitchell. I mean, you have a Mike Trigg, you know, because you look at Mike wasn't athletic. He wasn't fast. Always been a big, strong kid. And his process, I mean, he has all the skill set. He learned all the skills, all the basics to prepare him for where he is now.
Yeah.
Like the kid coming down the court, handling the ball like that.
I don't know if you can create an Emmanuel Sharp, man. That dude, man, got some kind of spider senses or something, bro.
It is, but it is. But real quick, it is because Emmanuel took a lot of ass whippings from DJ and Gabriel. A lot of them.
And me.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to
ask. You too old to be out there.
But Tina whooped them up too.
One of the things Rondo said when he was training with you, Sharp, he said that one day Gabriel and Emmanuel was there and they were going at each other one-on-one. And he said that Gabriel was getting the better of Emmanuel. And I always said that I feel like Gabriel has that same skill set, but I think it's a different mentality of the two. Now, I don't know if it was because he was playing in a different system or whatever. I think Emmanuel's mentality is different than Gabriel, and that's where you saw the difference. But I think
Gabriel shot the ball 30 times a game for me.
Well, what do you think, Sharp? Because you made them both.
Yeah, it's different people. Different, like you said, mentalities. They're just different people.
But same skill set, though, right? Like,
yeah, Gabriel's. Chris will tell you all the skills. Can pass, can handle. It's just a mentality, you know. It's what you want to get out of it. And
The best one to come out of that household is gonna be Noah.
Noah just starting. Yeah, he's just starting his skills center league. So he's up next.
I think Noah's gonna be like his dad, man. He's gonna be the trash talker because the trash that Derek talked was like a comedy show, like on some Bill Bellamy.
Yeah, I was
no regular trash talk like they're frying you out here, man. It was silly
yeah,
stuff.
Noah's got a motor already. Like he's gonna be all over the place. He's gonna be flashy. He's gonna be
flashy. He laughs. He talks.
He putting it between people's legs already. Like he's crazy.
Silly stuff like that.
He's gonna be the LaMelo Ball.
Yes, he's gonna be that one. He's gonna be that little brother. Yes, that's
Yep.
it.
Yep, I guarantee you.
That's exactly who he is. Yes.
All right, China, what you want to leave us with?
John went to sleep, man.
Brandon, what you want to leave us with?
Oh man, I already said what I had to say, man. Like I said, can't be afraid to partner, man. And everybody just got to play a role, and it's all about the kids. Just keep pushing the narrative about the kids.
All right, let's do it. All right, Sharp, what you got? What you want to leave us with?
It's bedtime, man. I got to get up at 5:30, boy. Dang, man. Sick as fuck.
You gotta make that hike past me.
I got a 50-minute drive, baby. God, dog.
That's it? Just 50?
Yeah, it's 50. It's a straight shot. Yeah, it's straight.
Shot in the air. All right.
That's it.
All right, man.
Hey, we appreciate this was a good one.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, boy. Now stay safe.
Hey, we'll be down the 23rd.
All right, boy. We'll get there.
Yes, sir. Already.
All right.